Hey guys, Chris here with a new deck profile. So this is an update to my old build of Odd Eyes, which was just like 2 weeks ago probably. Um, I've had a few new updates to the deck. I've tried to make this a little bit more control build, as in trying to bring out Vortex and other types of negates as fast as possible. So I've been testing out other types of things, like some of the viruses, like Grin and Grave, Full Force, and whatnot. I decided not to go very heavy on the viruses. At one point, I tried the Lilith, because like I could pendulum summon it, and I'd get its effect, but it's too much of a brick. I'd also try to go with more Odd Eyes monsters in general, so I can actually like pop off and get Arc's effect. So that's the thing. Yeah, I guess let's get into the profile. So for monsters, you're on 3 Arc. Actually, I'll just put them in the middle. Oh well. 3 Arc, 3 Phantom, and 2 Odd Eyes main. So with Arc, whenever a card's popped or an Odd Eyes is destroyed by card effect or by battle, you can special summon an Odd Eyes from hand, deck, or graveyard. Phantom, by far the best scale, besides Arc, of course. Phantom pluses 1200 to any monster you control, whether it's an Odd Eyes or not, as long as you have an Odd Eyes in the other skill. So you'd use the Phantom and the Arc combo together. Odd Eyes is really just a name, but if you summon it off of Arc and you don't pendulum summon, you can have this just as a beater for a little bit, because you can add the 1200 off Phantom. We run 2 Persona, 1 Dissolver, 1 Mirage. That's all of the Odd Eyes for the rest of it. Persona is a effect veiler, quick effect during either player's turn while it's on the field for a monster summoned from the extra deck. In scale, it doesn't really matter. But like if a Odd Eyes is targeted, you can special summon it from the scale, then activate 1 from the extra deck. So like if they pop a Arc, you can activate Persona, special summon it from scale, activate an Arc from your extra deck. So it's not really, doesn't come up as often, but it's there. Dissolver is a level 8, so you don't pendulum summon it, but you can special summon it off of Arc, which is what you normally do. And in scale, it's a polymerization. On field, it's also a built-in polymerization. It's a Performapal and a Dissolver, or Odd Eyes. Which means you can go into Gatling Ghoul, Starving Venom, or Vortex. Mirage, I like it because not only is it a high scale, which that doesn't come up, but on field, it's a protection for a Odd Eyes once per turn. So if they were to Regeki, Dark Hole, or something, it protects it. The other good thing about Mirage Dragon is that you can normal summon it to make Electromite. It's the only other normal summonable monster besides Time Gazer and Dark Worm, which means that it's good for making Electrum. Another cool thing is if you use Sky Iris to pop a Odd Eyes monster, and then you have Arc in scale, you can special summon a monster off of Arc, and then normal summon Mirage, or use Chrono or Dark Worm to make an Electromite, which is always cool. For Chrono, or for Electromite targets, whatever. 3 Chronograph, 1 Time Gazer, 2 Dark Worm, 1 Garnet. A lot of Odd Eyes builds run 3, I don't know why. It's just because you can normal summon it, I think that's why, but like, I don't always want to see this, and I don't want to draw it off Electromite or anything else, so. And 1 Gate 0, I used to run this at 2. I liked it at 2, but it's a Garnet. It's a level 7, which is nice, but it's a Garnet. Last monster is Sloth. I ran this at 2 for a little bit, but I needed space, so I put it to 1. Sloth is really cool because you can pop it off of Sky Iris. So like if you have Sky Iris as your field spell, you pendulum summon this first turn, or you tribute summon, or whatever, it's on your field. Activate Iris effect, pop Sloth. And if you already had an Electromite on field, that's already a free zone. And since Sloth is gone, you can now summon from your extra deck. Iris will let you search for a card, and then once you're done with all your combos and plays, Pendulum summon it back. So no matter what, it's like the Siegfried quick effect negate Vanity's emptiness, if you remember that back in the day. Before Zoo was a thing. Like 2 weeks before Zoo was a thing. Oh god, I feel bad for DDDs, to be honest. Going into spell cards, we run triple Sky Iris, 2 Terraforming to search it out, so we run 5 basically. Sky Iris, while it's on the field, Odd Eyes cards cannot be targeted in the Pendulum Zone. So no Mystical Space, no Twin Twister, no Cosmic Cyclone. They're protected, which is really nice. It also lets you pop a card and then search for an Odd Eyes, which makes it so Arc is always live. We run triple Spiral Flame Strike. This has 2 effects. First effect is Reinforcements of the Army for a level 7 Odd Eyes monster, which is really nice because it makes sure you always have Arc Pendulum. And it also has the advantages of popping a card on field while you control an Odd Eyes. So if you're in a really clutch situation, you can pop your opponent's card, or if you have Arc and Scale and an Odd Eyes and Scale, you can pop the other Odd Eyes, and then Arc will special summon from the deck. Doesn't come up often, but it's there. 2 Duelist Alliance, 2 Summoner's Art. Alliance searches for Arc or Odd Eyes. Summoner's Art searches for Arc. You really need Arc. That's the entire premise of the deck. 2 Pot of Desires for Pot of Desires. The only card you don't want to banish is Arc, of course, but like you really need to draw power, and with all the search power you have, you're almost guaranteed to have Arc, so it doesn't matter. 2 Called for hand traps. 1 Foolish, 1 Shrine. I don't like running 2 Shrine anymore, because you draw it off of Electromite or any other thing, and it's always a brick. 1 Epidemic, 1 Full Force. Epidemic is really good against Altergeist and Striker, because all you really need to do is Pendulum summon an Odd Eyes, and then activate, tribute the Odd Eyes, declare a spell or trap, and then once you declare either one, your opponent, on the field and in the hand, discards all spell and traps. Spell or traps, depending on what you declared. So Sky Striker is null and void, and Altergeist is null and void. Also Paleo, but I mean they get off in the graveyard, but that's fine, because for the next 3 turns of their turns, any spell or trap they draw, they have to reveal it and discard it, which is beautiful. Full Force Virus is the same thing, but for monsters. And also all monster effects that activate in the graveyard that were discarded by this card's effect are negated. Which means no danger, no Burning Abyss, no Dino. Well, dinos don't care. I don't know. I haven't played the deck in 2 years. But basically, the Full Force takes care of monsters, this takes care of spell and traps. So if you have both of these, if you open both of these, it's very easy to run into 2 Odd Eyes on board, maybe a Vortex for a negate or something, and you activate both of these. They basically have no board, or no anything if you go first, even if you go second, unless they have a negate. That's kind of sad, to be honest, but still. If you just draw an Arc, an Iris, and a Scale, preferably a level 7, you will have the ability, and you draw 2 of these, you'll be able to get both of these off, which is really nice. Going on to the extra deck, for links, we run 1 Electromite, of course, Landforkiss, Underclock, Decode, and Equimax. Electromite is self-explanatory. It searches either a Phantom or a Morphage Sloth. Landforkiss is because If you really need to link off into with the Absolute Dragon, then Absolute is a water, which means that you can't use Wee-Witch, and I prefer not to use Wee-Witch because of that one factor. So I like it, and also it's the same arrows as Mrs. Radiant and Electromite, so that's the thing. Underclock is nice because Odd Eyes is a aggro deck, which means that you can attack for so much damage in one turn. This is an OTK deck, and that's all this deck does. Besides the best Pendulum Negate ever, that no one cares about the original archetype, which is sad. Decode, because Decode. Equimax, because you don't attack with the Vortex. I mean, you can, and you can boost it up, too, which is really cool. Any of the Odd Eyes that's boosted up by the 1200 makes it 37 attack, which is really nice. And it also gets over, whatever that dinosaur card is, the Conductor. Also, you can put Sloth under Equimax, and it'll boost it up too, which is nice. And boosting this up by 12 too. Oh my god, so much attack. For XEs, we run Metal Flare, Big Eye, Rebellion, and 2 Absolutes. So Rebellion, I don't know why. My extra deck's really just, it's 14 cards actually. The only thing that matters are the Absolutes and the Fusions. And, like, 2 of the Link monsters. Everything else doesn't really matter. It's up to you. Absolute is good because it brings out Vortex. It also brings out Rebellion. And if you're running the Odd Eyes Meteor Burst, you can bring that out if you wanted to. I don't know why. Big Eye is Widow Anchor, basically. It takes out one of your opponent's big monsters, and then you take control of it. Flare Metal is Trick Stars in a can. It's Lycris. Every time your opponent activates a card effect, they take 500, which is nice. For fusions, Gatling Ghoul, Starving Venom, and 2 Vortex. Starving Venom is cool because you can use it with Super Poly, and I run that in my side deck. You don't really have to main it if you don't run the Super Poly in your main. You can make it off of Dissolver, which is nice. Gatling Ghoul. This is a game ender. If you go into time, make Gatling Ghoul, and you'll deal 200 damage for each card on the field. It also destroys a monster on your opponent's field and inflicts battle damage equal to its attack. This can deal up to like 4,000 damage in a turn. And then you also get your battle phase, so you can attack with it. Vortex is Vortex. Some stupid plays I like to do is I overlay into Absolute. I link off, bring out a Vortex with the effect of Absolute, so I have a second one. I don't know why, but I mean I can. I also, with Absolute's effect, Absolute negates an attack, and then special summons an Odd Eyes from the graveyard. So I overlay, swing, effect, detach the Vortex, effect, special, the Vortex, effect the Vortex, bounce the card. So that's really nice. That is my extra deck. Side deck. I have a second Full Force, Super Poly, 3 Twin Twisters. Full Force is for Burning Abyss, Danger, anything. Super Poly is for about the same, really. It doesn't really matter. Anything that's dark, I can take a control of it to fusion into Starving Venom. Twin Twisters is nice because anti-spell. Yeah, anti-spell. There's not much I really have to say about that. Also, I guess Striker and Altergeist, but I already have a decent matchup against it, except Imperial Order. I hate that card. Skullmeister, Lance, yeah. So, randomly, I got this, I I won my match against a Vendread player a few weeks ago, all because I meistered their Battlelord in Grave. They almost had me too. And I mean, like, that's a rogue deck, so it's not that bad. Meister's also really good against Ray, Danger, Prank Kids, kinda, and all sorts of other cards, or decks. Lancia is good against Burning Abyss, Thunder Dragon, Thunder Dragon, Thunder Dragon. That's it. I run 2 Chaos Hunter, and then 2 Pinkertops. You can Pendulum summon both because they're level 7s. If you're going first and you Pendulum summon the Pinkertops, it's a quick effect, so you can activate it on your opponent's turn, which is clutch. It's a form of disruption, which is really nice. Chaos Hunter, even if you're not going first, you can, if your opponent special summons, like, they normal summon that Battery Man or whatever, and then they link into the Lightning Link, I could special summon the Chaos Hunter, and they won't be able to fusion summon. Thunder Dragon, sorry, I wasn't being specific. I can also Pendulum summon it, which is nice. For that, yeah, that's my side deck. And that is my profile. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, do whatever. And thanks for watching. See you next time.